Hey guys, Preston here. Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about the Penguins' new additions in GM Ron Hextall and the President of Hockey Operations Brian Burke. This was relatively expected, yet somewhat unexpected news for Pens fans out there. I guess we can, as in Hextall was rumored to be a favorite for a while. He was definitely part of that list of contenders we'd see for the GM job after GM JR, Jim Rutherford, stepped down relatively unexpectedly. But Brian Burke, I don't think anyone really saw coming, but now we have a president of hockey operations in Burke, and the GM is still Hextall. So people, I'd say this, don't freak out if you don't like Burke or something, think he's too old school for you maybe. It seems like, from what they've said, it seems like Hextall's still going to make a decent amount of decisions, and Burke's kind of an advice guy, and at the end of the day, really, it's still up to the owners of the team. They get final say and all this stuff anyways, but it looks like they're going to let Hextall have some kind of control over this. They might still have some limits. It sounds like, at least for now, they're still pretty set on not trading away Crosby, Malkin, and Letang. They want to keep that trio until they retire, more than likely. We'll kind of see what happens. The fact is that Letang and Malkin can both get extended this offseason. We'll kind of see what happens there. You'd have to imagine they have to take less money, just given their age and the way they play at the moment. But I guess we'll see. It's problems later down the road. But we solved our first step, and that's just getting guys in here who now have to deal with these problems. I do like this combo. I think there's probably two camps when it comes to GMs. A lot of people say they want proven guys. They want, proven, experienced guys, and if you're that camp, you're happy about these two hires. Penguins management ownership has said it. They mentioned it multiple times. It's been a talking point. The fact is that these two combined for over 50 years of hockey management experience. GM, assistant GMs, etc. They've done a lot of time. 20 plus years for Hextall. I think 30 plus years for Burke. They've been in this business a long time. They've had success. Hextall won a Stanley Cup when working for the Kings in 2012, and Burke won the Cup with the Ducks in 2007. Obviously, that's a long time ago. Hextall's previous job was with the Philadelphia Flyers. He was also a goalie for the Flyers in the 80s. So, there's might be some hesitation there for Pens fans, like, oh, he's a Flyer guy. But let's give him, he's on our team now, so that's all that matters, right? He works for us. He's not going to sabotage us or anything dumb like that. He cares about this job. If anything, he might be motivated to beat the Flyers, because from what I remember, he wasn't really fired, which is, that's a good thing. Usually when you get these experienced guys, it comes with the caveat that they got fired from their previous job or something like that. In this case, Hextall did get let go, but it sounded like it was due to some kind of clash with ownership, which that could also present some issues. It seemed like Hextall wanted to be more patient with guys and prospects, and the Flyers kind of wanted to rush stuff a bit, so they had a disagreement. But you'd have to imagine the Penguins knew about this, and they took this hire anyway. They're probably going to give Hextall the breathing space he needs. I think this is a smart move. I mean, obviously, people mentioned the fact that he helped build this Flyers team into what it is now. He drafts and develops really well, which is something we need to see more of, obviously, with GM JR, Jim Rutherford. I say GM JR, I'm so used to that. Probably going to say GM RH now. I think I'm just used to it. But either way, Rutherford was known for trading away draft assets pretty fluently and often, and I think it's time now that we have to start getting some of this draft capital back and utilizing these picks well. Hextall's proven in the past he does a really good job. I think most people would agree he's done a good job at drafting and developing prospects. Like I said, he helped build the Flyers into what they are now. So that's good for the future of this Penguins franchise. And as for right now, he said it himself. He said, I can do more than one thing. So we'll get to see him do his best, win now movement as well, while still hopefully thinking in the back of his head about the future of this team. I think this is a great hire in general. I think it's probably the best candidate, or one of the best candidates we could have got. The Burke thing's a little surprising. I know there's people who, he might have too much of an old school mentality, but don't worry. I don't think he's going to completely take over this team or anything. He's not going to go out and find a bunch of enforcers and stuff like that, the old school stuff. It seems like he's more of an advisor, you'd say, kind of putting their brains together. It's a pretty daunting job at GM. It seems like more and more now you get these people who get kind of a symbiotic relationship, but it seems like at the end of the day, Hextall will probably get a little more power, and then even if he didn't, Burke still has to answer the CEO and the owner, etc. So the chain of command's still all there. I wouldn't worry too much. I think I'm more comfortable with Hextall as GM than I am with Rutherford. I'll always be thankful and grateful for Rutherford. It's hard to say that last name for some reason. What Rutherford, what GM JR did for this Penguins franchise. Obviously, back-to-back cups in 16 and 17. But since then, just monitoring, the way Pens fans have felt for a while now, it seems like GM JR kind of fell out of favor with this team a while ago. More and more people see that the success kind of isn't there as it was in 2016 and 17. The people around Crosby and Malkin aren't the same, and Crosby's still been pretty solid, but guys like Malkin and Letang probably, they're not as good as they were. And just the draft, the management with these trades, it seems like he was always making trades and then having to make more trades to undo the bad trades he made in the beginning. The most recent thing to point out is his last little gift to us. Like I said, I'm grateful for what he did for the Cups, and I think it's worth it when you think about it in the long run. Sure, you suffer a bit of, you suffer a bit afterwards, but back-to-back Cups is, that's a beautiful thing. You always love to see it. But he left us with the Mike Matheson trade, which kind of just shows you that's kind of like the pinnacle, just a proper example of what Pens fans have had issues with GMJR for a while. We got rid of Patrick Hornquist. Most people thought if we did that, it would be the shed cap. But in fact, not only did we get rid of Hornquist, we took on more cap, getting Mike Matheson's awful bloated contract for a bad defenseman, 5 years. It's like almost $5 million per year, and then another contract on Colton Sevier, who's pretty good, but he also just cost money, and it ended up meaning we didn't save any cap room really at all, and we traded Hornquist's contract for Matheson's contract, where if you ask me, sure, it's slightly cheaper, but it's longer, and he's a worse player. So just a bad move. Moves like that we hopefully won't see anymore under Ron Hextall. Like I said, I'm excited about this. I have faith in this ownership team. Lemieux will do us right, just like he did as a player. But yeah, I have faith that Burke and Hextall will get this done. Burke's a fun personality. I mean, obviously that's not what you look for when you hire a GM, but it's just just a bonus we can look forward to. We should have some pretty fun interviews throughout the season and next season. Obviously, it sounds like, just so everyone's aware, they're not committing to a full-on rebuild or anything like that. It doesn't sound like they're fully committed to keeping the core together forever and win now mode forever either. It's kind of in between. I think ownership would prefer keeping them. We'll see what happens, but it sounds like for sure those big decisions will be something that happens next season in the offseason, so it really depends on how this season goes. Really, man, we got to hope this team can stay healthy. It's going to be interesting to see what these first moves on this new management team does. We could probably still use some help in a lot of places, especially that blue line with it's tore up the shreds. It's been struggling. There's two bright spots in that defense in Marino and POJ, who Olivier Joseph probably wouldn't even got that much playing time if it wasn't for the injuries. So that's the only positive I can think of. But everyone else is still injured, and we probably need some blue line help. So like I said, we'll get more. I think we'll be able to formulate our opinions more of these guys once they start actually making moves. For now, this is all just rhetorical, on paper, kind of opinionated stuff. And in my opinion, it's a good move. But like I said, you never know. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this. Patrick Alvin, who was temporarily the assistant GM. He didn't make a move or anything, but he was the assistant GM. He is going to remain the assistant general manager under the Hextall Burke regime. But either way, guys, let me know what you think about these hires, if you're excited about it or not. I think more people are probably optimistic about the Hextall hire than the Burke one, but like I said, I don't think Burke's going to really have a negative impact, and if anything, his experience just helps out Hextall, who obviously he has plenty of experience himself too. I like this move. Like I said, Hextall pretty much he made the Flyers. Let's just be honest. He made the current version of the Flyers you see. That was set up and made by Hextall's moves, his draft picks, his development system, etc. So getting a nice farm system in place will be very nice to see. Obviously, the impatient fans in the world will probably, it'll annoy you. You won't see those results right away. But The Pens have had a pretty notoriously weak minor league system for a while now, kind of bare in the prospect department. POJ is a nice piece we're finally seeing come to fruition, but outside of that, it's pretty thin, guys. So hopefully that's something we can improve on and grow that way. Like I said, I think pretty much with Hextall, I am more confident that we will not fall off a cliff as much as we probably would have if GM JR stayed in management. So hopefully we don't end up like the Red Wings or the Blackhawks have to deal with. Maybe won't be as good, but I'm hoping under Hextall, we can remain competitive. We got to think for the future as well as the win now mode. I think the right balance is what this issue is, and we will see how this new management group and ownership decides to tackle it. Either way, I'm excited to see what the future brings. Obviously, we're kind of struggling right now. I won't pin it all on injuries, but I mean, obviously, we have to admit that's part of the problem. Maybe hire new strength staff, guys, because I feel we're always injured. It's awful. But well, all right. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it. Like I said, let me know what you think about these hires. Feel free to discuss it in the comments. I will gladly. Sorry, mouth is getting dry. I'm slurring some stuff. I will gladly respond to any questions or just remarks you have. I'll agree, disagree, etc. I love talking hockey and sports in general, so please make sure you subscribe by clicking the button over here. Up here is the playlist of my my Pittsburgh Penguins videos. It's a new playlist, so hopefully, if you watch this at another time, there'll be more Penguins videos. I'm starting to want to expand on my hockey content as well as my Indiana Pacer, Pittsburgh Steeler, and Notre Dame content. Over here is another random video of mine that YouTube has decided to recommend for you, so feel free to check that out as well. Please like this video, help spread the word about my channel. I'm trying to hit 140 subscribers. I am so close, guys. This growth has been hard for my channel. I've had it for a long time, and it feels pretty stagnant. So I'd love it if you guys just subscribed. If you enjoyed my content, it would mean a lot to me. All right, guys. This is Cam A. Preston signing out. I'll see you in the next video. Go Pens.